Juche is a term in simple translation literally means self-identity, subjectivity, self-reliance, or autonomy. The term Juche consists words, Ju, meaning power, but also owner or master, and Che, meaning physique, integrity or essence. The term Juche was used for the first time on 28 December 1955 in Kim Il-sung's speech to the Workers' Party of Korea. In this groundbreaking speech, Kim argued that North Korea should adapt Marxism-Leninism applicable to Korean realities, thus laying the ideological framework for North Korea's philosophy of Juche. The aforementioned point of view is closer to the notion of the creation of national versions of communist ideologies like Leninism or Stalinism in the USSR, Maoism in China or later Titoism in Yugoslavia, Castroism in Cuba. But also it is a result of the changes in the Kremlin after Stalin's death and the subsequent search for new strategies by Kim Il-sung, or simply as an ideological tool to distance Pyongyang from Moscow. In the available literature, the term Juche as translated into the language of political practice is understood as a state of mind and position of a person capable of carrying out policies by himself without outside influence. The Juche ideology grew out of Kim Il-sung-ism, from the name of the creator of Juche ideology, Kim Il-sung, which is also a base for the Juche ideology. Sometimes these terms are used interchangeably. In the second way of understanding, the Juche ideology is simply a statement that the hosts or owners of Korea are Koreans and the host of the revolution is the Korean nation. It should be emphasized that the Juche ideology was not created at once. It was a fairly long-term process, as a result of which the specific elements of this ideology were crystallized. The speeches and ideological works of Kim Il-sung, as well as studies by North Korean researchers, were main foundations for the creation of subsequent elements of Juche ideology. Researchers distinguish the following stages in the development of the Juche ideology. As an embryonic concept, 1930 to 1945, when Kim Il-sung, as a young revolutionist and guerrilla leader, accumulated experiences and learnings from the Chinese and the Soviets. An important factor in this point are also growing nationalist resentments due to the Japanese occupation of the Korean peninsula and later as post-liberation nationalism called Minjok-juwi. 1945 to 1955, the learning stage, when the aforementioned Minjok-juwi was still present, but additionally some elements were added. In this period, Kim Il-sung developed his own ruling skills through exposure to the USSR and the Korean War. Especially during the faction wars inside the Workers' Party of Korea, which resulted in the confirmation of Kim's full and independent leadership, he could afford to stray further from the Soviet line to guarantee his political power base. As an ideology of North Korea, but unofficial and not fully formulated, 1955 to 1962, when the Juche concept itself appeared and became part of the political circuit. At the same time, North Korea authorities formulated independent policies under the slogan of Juche, similarly as autonomy of the Workers' Party of Korea in external relations alongside with critiques of the great power tendencies of the USSR. In later years, Kim Il-sung began to cautiously step ahead with his independent policies and finally implemented them in all areas of the state's activities on his own terms. During the years 1967 to 1972, as an official ideology of North Korea and the Workers' Party of Korea. In this period, the Juche ideology became the basis for all national policies, and in the theoretical domain, Juche began to constitute a coherent ideological system. Juche was officially recognized as the application of Marxism-Leninism to North Korean reality. During the period 1973 to 1980, the Juche ideology was recognized as a comprehensive system of ideas, theories and methods of Kim Il-sung, also as the canon of the whole nation, state, party and society. The last period after 1980 can be described as the expansion and development stage. It is worth noting that in 1982 there took place a figurative event, namely, the construction of the Tower of the Juche idea in Pyongyang as a symbol of the ultimate codification and dominance of Juche ideology in the life of North Korea. In 1992, the Juche concept's remaining connections to Marxism were completely removed from the North Korean constitution, and Juche was elevated to the status of a kind of religious and moral system, which ultimately defined the purpose of people's lives, thereby providing the ideological justification for the hereditary succession of power of the Kim dynasty. Juche became a kind of political tool towards maintaining power and influence. The Juche ideology consists of several elements, which condition it. These are, Jaju, meaning independence in politics, Jerup, meaning self-sufficiency in the economy, Yawi, meaning self-reliance in national defense. Later to this set was added Suri-Young, meaning leadership and in particular that the Workers' Party of Korea and masses represent one organic body, but the brain and the main representation of their will, needs and interests as the leader or commander. The main rule of Juche ideology is the statement that man is the master of everything and decides everything. In consequence, this principle underlies all the principles and propositions elucidated by the Juche idea. So in this point of view, a human is simply an independent entity, in Korean, cha ju sung. However, these features cannot develop immediately in the process of social development. Therefore man must become a conscious social being, and when that does not happen he simply cannot be called man anymore. According to the words of Kim Il-sung, man is a being with cha-ju-sung, that is, an independent social being. If man is a social being, besides biological life, he can live also by the rules of sociopolitical life, even it is more important than the biological one, which has its end, in contrast to sociopolitical life, which is eternal through its achievements. Because immortality is an unparalleled value for man, it can only be achieved through socio-political life together with the full devotion of man to social and political life. It is impossible for a man to do it alone. It is possible only through political parties or other socio-political organizations. It is an honor and glory for man. The essence of human life is therefore a collectivist life. The main aspiration of Kim Il-sung was the transformation of North Korea into a fully collectivist state on the basis of the Juche idea. So the main core of Juche ideology is collectivism. This is how people's masses are created. In Juche ideology, people's masses are the main force of revolution, creation and progress, but only and exclusively when they are led by the party, because only the party can be the force of revolution and the nucleus of the masses. As we have already noted, a socio-political organism with party and masses created in this way needs Suri-Young, that is independent leadership. Only Suri-Young itself is at the apex and core of the system, because the whole society is mobilized with the aim of replicating the leader's power. Only under Suri-Young can the whole nation act as one body under the leader's guidance. Furthermore, Suri-Young drives the masses, party and state by enforcing the routine installation of the military and revolutionary spirit at all times and at all levels of society, so in consequence the power of the Suri-Young is developed along with a wide range of social organizations to reproduce certain patterns of behavior. This process can be carried out only by cult of personality, because Juche must be absolutely overwhelming. The first part of Juche ideology outside of the widely analyzed feature of Suri-Young is Jaju, independence in politics. Man should be a master of his own destiny. Cognately, the principle of political independence is obligatory if the state wants to shape its own destiny. Every state has equal rights and possibilities to self-determination, and what's more, every state must have rights to chart its future in order to assure freedom and prosperity for its people. Jaju demands complete equality and mutual respect among states, as well as rejects subjugation and thus opposes enslavement. To conduct Jaju, the state should accommodate a national adaptation of Marxism-Leninism. Second, it should maintain independence in shaping guidelines and policies by staunchly opposing dogmatism. Third, it should insist upon complete equality in foreign relations, because only this line differs from national egoism in that it strengthens proletarian internationalism. To conclude, Jaju as political independence is the basic provision and guarantee for economic self-sustenance and military self-defense. The second element of Juche ideology is Jerup, self-sufficiency. This element of Juche ideology refers directly only to the economic relations of the state. According to Kim Il-sung, economic independence is a key factor in achieving the political independence. Jerup should mean the pursuit of autarky and intensive expansion of the national economy. The last element of Juche ideology is Yawi, self-reliance in national defense. Similar to the previous elements, in order to achieve political independence and confirmation of power, it is important to implement fully militarization. Because military power is the basis of all power, so without true independence in military affairs, the state cannot exercise its sovereignty. It requires fortification of the entire country, to militarize all society and to develop a strictly national army, also in the case of the arms industry.